Hello guys, so I want to talk about a very important topic that I think needs immediate attention is that um, two of our teachers, Dr. Sarwar and Asif Mahtab, who has immense impact on the July Revolution and who contributed so much for the July Revolution and the independence of and the recent independence of this country, our country from the fascist government, has gotten a very serious death threat, and everyone is silent. And I'll explain you why and how this is very concerning. So we all know about Asif Matar and Dr. Sarwar, who has been vocal about LGBTQ issue and how that these approval of these issues can destroy our society and our country, and they are not any regular person. Mr. Sarwar, he is a researcher and a PhD holder who left his mm, who left a good life back in Singapore, who and Singaporean government offered him citizenship, uh, education, job opportunities, lots of things. But he left Singapore and Malaysia, who also offered him lots of opportunities to come to Bangladesh for his love of this country. He wanted to do something for this country. He wanted his knowledge to share his knowledge with the people of this country and for the betterment of this country. Same with Asif Mahtab. He graduated from abroad and he returned and he wanted to do something for this country, and they were vocal about this LGBTQ issue, which has destroyed West, the society in West, and they have begun to understand the negative impact it will bring in our civilization. Approval of these serious, dangerous ideas and ideologies it is going to it has the potential to end our civilization, because if women begins to marry another woman, men starts to marry another man, we as a society, as a civilization, will be extinct. Human beings will get extinct, and they understood it. And U.S. government recently banned these illegal relationships, and people like Elon Musk, who is considered one of the great minds in uh, today's generation in recent years, and he is obviously a great mind. He is also opposing these behaviors. Many countries like Poland, countries like Norway, and many Western countries who previously approved these uh, these ideologies are returning and reverting from these ideologies and getting into the traditional lifestyle, and acknowledging their mistakes. However, the interesting thing is we are, as a society, still could not understand the serious issue that these ideologies might bring. Not only that, our government is silent and not doing anything when a terrorist, a, a known terrorist, and a very violent person openly called for the killing of these two researchers, two respectable teachers, and they not only said anything. Many teachers, many so-called civilians are not doing anything. They have they have provided their support. They have provided the support for that terrorist. So let me tell you and share you what the terrorist, what the person who is known as Antarctica Chaudhary has posted. She posted, or not she, it's a he. He posted that kill these public figures who is against your marriage rights, and he posted two very disgusting pictures of Asif Mahtab and Sarwar Sir where there some people are playing with their severed head and their eyes are popping out. This image is disgusting, and this image tells how seriously wrong that human being is, and he has serious issues um, with his mentality, and he is a mentally disturbed person. It is clear from his post. Despite that, and he also, and we recently knew about that from his previous post, he openly posted photos and pictures where it showed that he is making bombs and weapons from his home, which is illegal and a serious offense in our country. Despite these allegations, people like Junaid, who is known or as the leader of the left movement, communist parties, showed their support to the killer, to the terrorist, to the um, to this mentally disturbed individual. Let me tell you something. We are in a serious position right now. If we don't stop these people, a very, very tough and difficult situation is awaiting for us in future. You know, after the approval of these LGBTQ rights and transgender rights, people, some criminals, it's happened in Ireland, where a criminal who was caught for rape and he was going to get punished for raping, he suddenly claimed that he is not a male and he is a female and he feels like female, because according to these LGBTQ rights supporters, you are not defined by your biological gender. Rather, you can just say whatever gender you are, you can just feel whatever gender you are, and you suddenly will turn into that gender. That is their argument, which has, by the way, no scientific backing, no scientific factual backing. It is a complete lie, and it is basic ninth grade biology. There are only two genders, male and female, and I don't know how still the the people who claims that they follow science, they are supporting this heinous and illogical argument, illogical ideology. And what happened, that government was pushed to send that rapist to women's prison. Think about that. A man who raped a female and suddenly claimed that she is a female, now they are sending a male rapist to a female incarnation. That's really concerning. Another incident that I want to share is there there are several cases where parents didn't wanted their children to learn about these LGBTQ rights, LGBTQ homosexual studies and tendencies, and homosexual stuffs, and their schools took their child from their home and they made the parents and they sent the children to another location, and they denied the parents to see or meet their children. It happened in multiple countries like Norway, Sweden. It happened, and in many cases the victims are Muslims and people from Asia and people who wanted a traditional lifestyle for their children. They were denied that rights, and these similar things will happen if we continue to allow this kind of behavior in our country. And there are lots of other cases that I can mention right now. There was a father uh, who denied his child suddenly felt that he is a female, and his father was concerned, and that's why he counseled him. And the child, what he did, he went to his school and said to his teachers that he felt like a woman, but his father is not agreeing. His father is counseling him, saying that he is mentally disturbed. So what his teachers did, they took him to hospital, and without the consent of the father, they began to push and inject him with hormones. And what the government did, government told the father that he can't have any saying in this, and he can't even visit his child and say anything about this issue to his child. So can you imagine that a child who is below 18 is getting injected by hormones by his teachers and government, and the parents have no rights to say anything? And the same thing will happen if this liberal power, this power that is trying to legalize this immoral behavior in our country, comes to power. And we can already tell by their actions that despite, and how I'll say you, they will be extremely ruthless. They will kill even. They have the courage to call for killing when they don't have power. They are not even 1% in this country, but they have the courage to call for killing when they are lower in number. When they will get power, they will definitely go mad. They will be worse than Hasina and the regimes, the fascist regimes we saw before. They will kill, they will abduct anyone who will oppose their right to engage in sodomy, and who will present them with facts. You can't even argue with them. If you try to argue them, and if you try to point out the facts that whatever tendencies they are having towards the same sex, it is actually a mental disturbance. It is a mental issue which is known as gender dysphoria. And before 1950, we had a medical treatment for that. Doctors had a proper medical treatment, proper medical plan to how that says, and that provides with the treatment plan to treat this issue. And among the 100%, among all the patients, 70% of them used to get treatment, and they returned to their normal life. They married, they had children, and they returned to their normal life. However, after 1950, 1970, the government and these LGBTQ agendas are being pushed by powerful entities, and there are lots of different reasons for that. That is another discussion. When doctors were pushed and they were scared, they got scared, and whoever talked against and gave their opinion against these LGBTQ issues, LGBTQ ideology, they were singled out. They were they were demonized, and they used to put tags like homophobic. If you present them with facts, they will say you are homophobic. They will say nasty stuff about you. They will say nasty things about you, but they will never engage in any rational argument with you. and how this whole behavior is a nasty behavior. And after they will legalize and say that we need our marriage rights, we need the marriage rights for men and men to get married, we need the rights to women and women to get married, then they will start saying we need the rights to incest, engage in incest. I need the rights to get right to marry my sister. A woman will say I need the right to marry my brother. Then they will start saying I need the right to marry a animal, and there is no ending. It will keep getting down. It will keep getting downhill from that point, because you don't have a morality, you don't have a subjective morality, they don't have any kind of subjective morality. Sorry, they don't have any kind of objective morality, they only have subjective morality. So at the end of the day, we need to be concerned, and I think we need to raise more voice against this issue. And government should, not only government, people should be more aware. Take care of your child, see what your children is doing, uh, observe what kind of media, what kind of content they are consuming in their mobile phone, in their Android phone, in their PC. Always have a look, keep an eye on your children. Otherwise these venomous toxic people will brainwash them with these disgusting ideas and ideologies, and you will lose your children. And you need to raise your voice against what is going on our country right at this moment.